go. Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. It's your boy Kanek, and today I got a special guest invited. It's your boy, one and
It's what's
only.
up? What up? What up? What up? My name Dilo, also known as the Blackwing God at my locals. How y'all doing? Glad to be here.
Yeah, man. So my boy actually topped the regionals, 17, right? Place 17.
Yep, 17th place. I ended
Yeah,
up going 6, 1, and 2. Yeah, it was a grind.
beautiful, beautiful. And today, we want to introduce his deck. He already did a couple changes to it, but I think it even got better now. It was already great. It's now even better because we added a little more spice in it with it. And yeah. Before we go to the deck profile, let's go show you real quick the board how it's supposed to look like, and then we show you the deck. Okay.
All right, sounds good, man.
Right. While the combo is running, you can talk a little bit if you want to. And let's
All
go.
right, bet. All right, so during my regional, man, it was a grind, like I said, because the first match I ended up playing against it was Dragon Link, Bistio Dragon Link, and we ended up tying. That the first game just took so long. I ended up winning that dice roll. I won game one, he won game two, and then game three it was just like I said, we ended up tying. Didn't have enough time. Next, I played against what did I play against? I played against Sprite game two. And when I tell you my first two matches was probably the hardest matches of the night, which you normally think like, oh, round 8, 9 is probably the hardest. But the first two was the hardest because they play so many hand traps. Like both rounds, they main deck 9 hand traps, not including Bistio. So both games, like I won a dice roll and I got hand trapped 4 times in one turn. And I'm just like, bruh, I'd like there was nothing I could do. So I ended up winning game one like barely against the Dragon Link Bistio because I ended up having like a wise tricks and a Simoon, and I just kept attacking directly with both of those until I had enough damage. Because he basically his whole hand was just straight hand trap, so he couldn't follow up or do anything. Like I said, game two, it was the same thing. He hand trapped me, except for I was playing against Sprite. He hand trapped me 4 times, but he top decked the starter, so he was just like, "Oh yeah, I got the starter." So he ended up beating me. So I was just like, "All right, you got it, bro." Like he opened every hand trap in his starter. Like I can't do nothing. Um,
So what would you say? What was like the main problem in the tournament that you've had to face?
I would say honestly, like the main problem would just be hand traps. If you get hand trapped like a lot, like if you hand trap me once or twice, like we can play through it and make a pretty good board. But if you hand trap me 3 or 4 times, like then we gonna be kind of like in shaky territory. So like that's why I honestly main deck the triple tactics because if you hand trap me, then I'm going triple tactics you. If I still have full combo,
Yeah.
then I'm gonna just shuffle a card back into your deck. And obviously playing like knowing what you're playing is gonna help me be able to build a better board. And also like if you hand trap me and then like I don't have, like a great combo, then I'll just draw 2 cards and then, finish trying to figure out what I want to go from there. So I would just say like a lot of hand traps.
Yeah. So like, what was like the most hand traps that you had to eat, but like you were still able to go full combo? Like, what was like the most hand traps that you eat one game going first?
Going first, I would say like Bistio, Ash Blossom, and Imperm, and I still made
Wow.
full combo. I don't remember what my exact hand
Yeah.
was, but I still got full combo off with that. And then there was actually another scenario where I actually so this is a game I drew, and I was actually about to beat him. So we went into time. I ended up making the thong, and this dude chain Imperm, and he had infinite impermanence, and he had another ash blossom on like my whirlwind or whatever. So I was
Wow.
just all right, bro, you got it, bro.
Wow. Wow.
So we
That's
ended up
crazy.
we ended up draw yeah we ended up drawing that because he just opened all the hand traps there, and I was trying to burn him for time, but I was just like, all right, bro, you got it. So I just had to shake his hand there.
Like, and I mean, how many losses did you have? I think you had like two losses and one tie or draw.
No, I had one
One
loss and
loss.
two draws,
So what
and
happened?
one of those draws actually. Go ahead.
No, sorry. Continue, continue.
One of those draws actually could have been avoided. Like it was just me like misplaying or like like you think back in a moment and you're just like, oh, like I could have did something differently to probably play around it. So one of those draws definitely could have been avoided.
Yeah,
I misplayed my Caluga board, and he ended up like so I ended up having full combo, but I misplayed the board, and
yeah,
he basically ended up breaking it and beating me game one.
yeah,
Game
yeah,
two, I didn't misplay, so I made the same board, and then game three, he just kind of stalled out for time. So that was my second draw, and this was round seven. So I was
yeah,
round seven, and I was playing against like Punk,
yes,
like that. So I played against Punk round seven. So it was like Punk mixed with Bistio and Dragon Links. But yeah, I definitely could have played around that easily and won that, but I misplayed there. And then
yeah,
my only loss came to Sprite, and I played against four. I want to say I played against four tiers, and I didn't lose a single tier game. And I played against another rogue deck. It was that plant deck. So those are like basically my matches throughout the night.
Atlantic. That's interesting. Um, s- oh, so real quick. So the thing that also happened to me because like the tournament always go for so long, like 9 rounds, right? You had 9 rounds, and
Yes, nine
it's
rounds.
mainly it's keeping that focus, keeping that like concentration because the further you go in the tournament, the like because you repeating those combos the whole time, and it's always like long boards, long combos that you have to do, and then it just basically basically mentally a huge game because
Yeah,
that what
yeah,
happened to me. Like I literally lost a lot of games, especially in the YCS. Literally lost just against myself. Like the
yeah.
only one.
That's basically how it is. It's a struggle, like basically trying to
Yeah,
mentally stay focused. So what I did, honestly, what helped me win my last two rounds
yeah,
was I I had out saved a Red Bull just in case I made it. So like again, my
yeah.
record started off. I lost one and tied one. So I was like, bruh, I'm on my last life here. I'm gonna have to just win this straight out. So that's basically what I did. I just won it straight out, minus the one misplay that I had with the draw. But I didn't drop any games after that. So I was just like, look, man,
I
we
see.
going all the way. Yeah. So imagine starting off like a regional and
Yeah,
you drew one that you possibly could have won, and then you lost to just getting hand trapped. Like that Sprite
yeah.
player was really good. So he just had all the like everything. So I was like, all right, bro, you got it.
I see. I see.
I was demoralized. I'm not gonna lie. I was thinking about dropping. I was thinking about leaving. My friend was like, "Look, bro, you need your invite. You just gonna win it out." And I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna win it out, bro." So I just took it game by game, and sure enough, like I ended up getting there. And there was actually a few rulings that where I had some time extensions too. So one of my opponents, it was against that plant deck. We
Yeah.
ended up getting a 6 minute time extension, bro. And so we ended up going in the time. We ended up going in the time, and he forgot that we had a time extension. So he was like, "All right, so that's a draw." And he went to shake my hand, and I pointed. I was like, "We got a 6 minute time extension." He was like, "What?" I
Wow.
forgot. So he forgot. So then he couldn't do nothing. And I was just like, he passed the turn, and I just basically gamed him. I was like,
Wow.
"Good game, bro."
What round was that? Was that right? The
That
beginning?
was like, no, that was like in the middle. That was like round
Wow.
five or six. Yeah, it was like round five or six. So I needed to win that.
The like I said, it's like the further you go, like the less focus and concentration you have, and probably that will also hit the dude. Cause
Yeah,
you
for
just yeah, crazy.
It was definitely crazy having a bunch of people hover around me. Like they were like, because I was at that point. I want to say the next round I was at like the top 10 table. So like having a bunch of like
Yeah,
people
yeah.
like hover around me, like bro, Blackwings at like top 10 tables. Like
They're
what's
not
going
used to
on?
see
Like
that, man. They're not
yeah,
used to see that.
all the judges, everybody was like, everybody was rooting for me for
Yeah,
real. Like, cause I played against this Sprite, not Sprite, this tier player, and I 2-0'd him, and everybody was like jaw dropped, like, bro, this dude just got 2-0 by Blackwings, and the dude was so salty, like they
yeah.
be so mad when they lose the Blackwings, bro. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you.
That's the thing that happened, man. Like even before the games, man, they be talking so much trash, so much smack against Blackwing. They do not respect us a little bit, bro. Like
Yeah,
they think it's an easy free win against us, and then all of a sudden, how the fuck did I just lose 2-0 against some birds? Like,
so I'm gonna tell you something that actually don't hurt this deck that players will do, and they think that it's hurting me, but in actuality, it don't. So they'll unintentionally slow play, and what I mean by that is they'll just they'll constantly just keep asking to read my cards.
Yeah,
Obviously, like they don't know what they do. So like
yeah,
if you're just genuinely trying to read it to understand what they do, that's fine. But I've had players tell me like we're just trying to stall time.
yeah,
Like because they want to get it as close as time to possible because they have cards that'll burn or whatever in time.
yeah,
So honestly, against my deck, since it takes so long for me to combo as is, you're just gonna keep stopping and reading my cards, and you're just trying to stall time. Like
yeah,
that don't really hurt me because not only do I have a card to burn you in time, but I also play Spooky Dogwood in my side. So I'm like a lot of people don't know that. So I'm
yeah,
like don't like if you're playing against a Blackwing player like a heavy combo deck, sometimes you just have to know when to scoop and go into either game two or game three. And
yeah,
sometimes you just have to know just let them speed up their combos. Like especially if you don't have anything, like in certain situations, like sometimes obviously like you're not gonna, do that, but
yeah.
in certain situations you just genuinely have to know like, all right, next game.
For sure, for sure. So besides Caliuga, what card would you say was also like a top MVP for you?
Definitely the assault mode dragon. Like that helped me win
Yeah,
so many games. Just burning you straight up. Like I had a guy that I played against, and I didn't make Cal Yuga, but I had like another good inboard. Like during that regional, I wasn't playing Dragoon. I was playing Hot Red Dragon Archfiend. So I had a inboard with like Hot Red Dragon Archfiend, assault mode. I had like a full armor master and another and I had a Crusadia Avermax or whatever on the field. And I was playing against Tier. It took the Tier so much to break my board that he had like 300 life points by the time he broke it. So he did break my board, but
yeah,
he had 300 life points left. So I just already had cards in my hand and I just attacked him for game the next turn.
that easy.
Yeah, so like definitely like the assault mode is really hard to get over, especially like if you have a full armor master, like you can just blow up the whole board and you still have your full armor master.
Exactly. All right, then I would say let's just go to the deck profile, and then you can go more in depth in your deck and explain why you chose specific cards and why you're playing 42 cards.
Uh,
Right? Let's go
well,
to
yeah, yep.
all right. Right, so here's the deck, and yeah, let's talk about the 42 cards and why not 40.
Yeah, so obviously like 42 hurts the consistency a little bit. Like sometimes you can brick. It's not as often that you brick,
Yeah,
but obviously the reason I run 42 is because one is easier for me to side, way easier, and two, I just feel like with this board, if I lose like with the 42 cards that I have, if I lose dice roll, it's
yeah,
really easy for me to break your board. Like because I run the three Dark Ruler No Mores, I run two triple tactics, I have Bestials, and then like I have a kaiju that's searchable through Small World. So it's like and then like the three Pot of Prosperity. So it's like super easy and kind of consistent for me to break your board going second. But obviously, like the whole purpose is to go first and then build my Cal Yuga board. But in case I lose dice roll, which I tend to do a lot, like I have ways to break your board. And the double triple tactics was 41 and 42. Like that was the
yeah.
deciding factor. And go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just listening. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I thought you were about to ask a question.
No,
No,
no.
you good. So like the deciding factor was the double tactics, and there's so many cards being activated during my turn, especially like in the tier matchup or like people activating Bystials during my turn. So like this helps me in three different ways. Like if I get hand trapped to death, I can draw two cards. If I get Bystial or something and I still have full combo, I can just shuffle a card back into your deck, and then it gives me knowledge of what you're playing and I can, snipe a card out and then just basically full combo you from there. If it's another hand trap, like even better for me.
Yeah.
I had a game where I had triple tactic, and somebody I want to say they like Ash Blossomed or Ghost Belled or whatever, and then I activated the triple tactics, looked at their hand, and they had a Nibiru in their hand, and I just shuffled it back, and then I was able to go in a full combo.
Nice, beautiful. Yeah, tactics can come in really clutch. I wanted to ask you about because I've been testing it a lot, playing two Shamals and one Zephyros, and I actually do like it, but consistency wise, I did have sometimes problems. But what about you? How do you feel about playing one Zephyros and two Shamals?
So as far as the Shamal at 2, I don't ever really have a problem with the Shamal. The Zephyros is more the problem at 1, but I don't like running Zephyros at 2, and here's why. So, like, if you see it in your hand, like, yeah, that sucks.
Mm.
But you have ways to get around that with, like, you can banish it with Samu, you can re-special summon it with the Black Feather Whirlwind,
Yeah.
and then, like, having it on field. And then, like, for example, what if you open 2 in hand? Like, I play tested a hand once and I opened up 2 Zephyros. Like, do you know how much worse that feels than just opening up 1?
That's true.
Like
That's
that's
true.
way worse. That's way worse. I would rather see 1 than 2. Like it's so bad in that case scenario. And not to mention, like you can only use his effect once per duel. So why would I want to run him at 2 if I can only use his effect once per duel? Like
Facts.
the effect to bounce to hand is cost. So like normally like I'll bounce the Black Feather Whirlwind for cost, and then they'll chain like a Bistio or something to banish it. So like, what if like we're in a grind game and then I top deck the second Zephyros? Like, it's just really not consistent.
Facts.
But so like, I definitely see why people run 2 because I played it at 2, and if they hit your first one, without you using the effect,
Yeah.
then it's really consistent. So you have another way to get to it. But in the grind game, or like if you already use the effect, it's really not
Yeah.
good at 2, in my personal opinion. And then Shamal at 3 and Bata at 3, I hit them both to 2, so I can make more rooms for the Bistials. I would run 3 and 3, but with tier and other decks that rely heavily on their graveyard being like so prevalent right now, I
Yeah.
would I would slightly hurt the consistency of my Blackwings at 2, and see more Bistials, because obviously like Bistials shut down tiers so hard. And not to mention like both Vata and Shamal's effects are both hard once per turn. So I just looked at it like they're not like Boar where you can just kind of spam the board or use their effects more than once per turn. Even if you have another copy, like they're hard once per turn. So like unlike how Suthery, if you have another copy, you can use his effect to
Yeah.
add again. So like he's not a hard once per turn. He's a soft once per turn. So like that's why I run Suthery at 3 and the other ones at 2. Like you want to see him. You definitely don't want to have him at 1. So 2, you see him just enough, in my opinion.
Yeah. Another thing that I want to ask you, because you used to play the Cybers Quantum Dragon and the Hot Red Dragon Abyss. Now we changed it to Dragoon, Muddy Mud Dragon, and Draco Berserker. I think was already in. I'm not sure, but yeah, let's talk about the few changes that you just did after the tournament.
So after the tournament, like really, I didn't have a hard time not playing the Dragoon, but the I guess the deciding factor for why I went back for the Dragoon is although Cyber's Quantum Dragon is a really good card, normally when I make him, it's overkill. So like I normally already have the Kal Yuga board with Crusadia Abramax full armor. Like I normally will have that whole board already on the field.
Yeah.
So it's like if I get out Kal Yuga, like you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty much over from that point. So it's like Cyber's Quantum Dragon is really good because it locks your opponent out from attacking, period. Like with Cyber's Quantum plus Crusadia, like they can't attack at all, and then he's the only thing you can target for an attack. It's really good, but like again, the deciding factor was normally when I make him going first, it's already overkill. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I should probably sit on like a hard negate or something. So like the
Yeah.
Dragoon was like the deciding factor in that regard. And then I've been going back and forth between which card is better between Draco Berserker and Hot Red Dragon Archfiend. I can't decide for the life of me. It's pretty much like 60-40 right now. But Hot
So,
Red Dragon Arch
but we took out the Sylvan, right? So we are playing without the Sylvan. So we replaced Sylvan for Berserker, I think, or what exactly? For what
yeah, so
which card did we
so I
took out
so
for Sylvan?
So I took Silverwind and I took Silverwind and Cyber's Quantum Dragon out for the Muddy Mud Dragon and the Dragoon, and then I took out the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend right now for Draco Berserker. I go back and forth between the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend and Draco Berserker, and the reason why is there's times where you can't go into Dragoon because you get hand trapped to death,
Mm-hmm.
or like sometimes you have to use your pot of prosperity for 6 or 3. So it's like there's times where I can't go into Dragoon.
Yeah.
So in that regard, it's super easy to make Hot Red Dragon Archfiend. So it's like I still have a soft negate. On top of that, his effect to special summon the tuner is really good. So like
Mhm.
there's times where I, will use him, deal damage, and then I'll special summon Boris back from grave, and then I'm able to like either make a assault mode dragon or a full armor master. So I do like the hot red dragon archfiend, especially like again if I can't go into dragoon, you can still have a negate just in case your opponent sides in like evenly matched or something like that. And then also what people don't know too is running the Bystials, you can actually make Dragoon and Hot Red Dragon Archfiend. So you can use Muddy Mud Dragon with either a Druid Swarm or a Magnamut to just make out the Dragoon, and then you can still use your Blackwing Dragon with a Roshi, or you can send a Roshi to grave with Baris to just make Hot Red Dragon Archfiend. So there's definitely useful cases for it. But I guess again, that's why I said I'm like 60-40. Draco's really good because obviously like a lot of cards like Bystials activate from hand or like tier monsters activate from
Yeah.
hand. So you can just chain it to banish it like
Yeah.
just outright. And then the fact is sometimes you might need to deal a little bit extra damage. So that attacking twice is really helpful. So that was like the 60-40 right there. That was like kind of like the deciding factor.
Yeah. Well, another question I want to ask you is about the hot red dragon abyss. Is I mean, it's easy to summon him, obviously, but how often would you like? Was he actually helpful? Like, that's the other
I, I
question.
I I actually used him half of the time because again, there's so many hand traps being played that sometimes I can't go into Dragoon. So like he's really helpful. Like I would say he's more helpful into game two, game three situations than game one.
Mm.
But even game one, like he's helpful. Like I can again, it's a soft negate. So there was a board where I sat on where it was full armor master, Blackwing assault dragon, and a hot red dragon archfiend abyss because I got hand trapped to death, or I think I bricked or something. And I bricked and got hand trapped. So like that's still a really
Yeah.
good inboard, and they weren't able to beat me with that inboard. Like I had a protection from battle because I had the Black Feather Whirlwind on field. If I wanted to blow everything up, I could with Assault Mode Dragon. I had a soft negate with Hot Red Dragon Archfiend. And this matchup actually was against Tears too, and he didn't have the field spell, so all of his monsters were just 3K. And the fact that both Assault Mode Dragon and Blackwing Dragon are 3200 is really good. They can't just run it over. And the fact that, sometimes you can have Chinook and use Chinook during damage step to make it so they lose 700 attack, like, is helpful. Also, last thing I will say about why I liked running uh the Hot Red Dragon Abyss is because if you're in the grind game, which I find myself in a lot, I'm in the grind game. I have a Black Feather Whirlwind on field, and I'm able to make a Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. So I can special summon something with less than 3200 attack. You know
Yeah.
what has less than 3200 attack is my full armor master. So
Yeah.
sometimes like they'll Bistio, like one time they Bistio my so I made Hawk Joe. I used Hawk Joe to try to special summon my full armor engrave, and then he banished it with his Bistio, and then I
Yeah.
was able to make Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, and then that brought back my banished full armor master from grave. And then obviously like if the monsters don't leave the field, they still have their wedge counter. So I was able to use my full armor master to still a monster. So it's very helpful in certain situations. I will say that I think that Silverwind will be making a return, but not in this current format with tiers because popping two cards like
Yeah.
only like monsters specifically. If it was two cards, obviously it would be broken, but it's two monsters. So like popping two of their tier monsters, like they're just gonna plus off of it. Like, oh, I get to mill five, or I get to special summon it back, or I get the
Exactly.
fusion summon now. So it's like Silverwind is not helpful in that regard, but like his effect to protect something from battle is actually very helpful. Like that helped me win games before, but just in this specific format, like he's not that good. But I think once tier gets hit, I think that I'm gonna go back for the Silver Wind,
Yeah.
and So yeah, that's kind of like the extra deck's definitely flexible. And then last I will say too is once tier gets hit, I actually might consider cutting the Crusadia Avermax, which has actually helped me win. So actually helped me win 2 games, I'll say,
Hmm.
because they were able to break my board, but they couldn't get over the Avermax.
Okay.
But
So you didn't see Goddess that often?
no, not Goddess. Oh, Goddess though. One. So
Goddess,
actually,
yeah.
I
Because
got Goddess
every time I
one
play
time.
Airmax, I just gonna get linked away. The
So I
Airmax of Goddess.
so I did get Goddess one time, but they weren't able to win. And
Okay.
so I had a full armor master, I had a Crusadia Avermax, and I had a Blackwing Assault Mode Dragon.
Yeah.
I had already burnt him for 800 with Nathong, and then he had a Bestial on field, and I had 2 counters on my Blackwing Dragon, so I burnt him for another 1400. And he hand trapped me, so I wasn't able to go on a full combo. So my inboard was uh, full armor master, Blackwing assault mode, and then I was able to make the Crusadia Avermax. And he kept burning himself just to get over my board. He had like 300 life points left. He ended up going into Goddess. He got rid of my full armor master. Um, or no, he might have got rid of my Crusadia Avermax, and then he attacked over my full armor or something like that.
Gotcha.
So he was able to break my board. He used his Druid Swarm to send my assault mode, and then he goddessed my full armor, and then or no, he goddessed my Avermax, and then attacked over my full armor. But by that point, he had 300 life points left, so I just attacked him for game.
Gotcha. Gotcha. All right. That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. I'm really happy to see people around the world like actually dominating right now. Cause I've been hearing even in the comments like people had started to dominate the locals. Like it's really a beautiful thing. And I was seeing you topping 17th place is really huge. And like
Yeah, I was definitely disappointed that I couldn't get the top 8. I really tried so
yeah,
hard to get top 8 for the
yeah,
Blackwing community, but again, I only
yeah,
lost 1 game the entire
yeah.
like 9 rounds, and
Were
that's very
were
impressive.
there
As
were there any other Blackwing players besides you?
there was there was one other Blackwing player,
What
and
is
it was funny. It was funny because you had a similar story. You had a similar story. So I played against this dude. I think it was like round 5 or 6,
you
and he
played against
goes,
him?
no, not against the Blackwing player. So I played against some guy at like round five or
Oh yeah,
six, and
yeah,
he
yeah,
was like,
yeah.
so I won the dice roll. I'm setting up my board, and he's like, "Oh, Blackwings! I just beat a Blackwing player last round." So he's like, "I know what some of your cards do," and I was like,
Yeah, you,
"Yeah." I
I'm sure
told
you
him, I
do.
said, "Yeah," but so this is what I told him. I said, "Yeah." So if you lost against him and he
You
not
gotta
playing
beat
me
me
right
too.
now, I said I'm about to get revenge for my fallen Blackwing player, and he
And
was
then
just kind of like joking or whatever. But I
yeah,
ended up beating him.
same thing. Just like happened to me, crazy because he was talking so much smack, was so arrogant, so like, and then he was literally shocked. He couldn't believe what just happened, and then he even started to laughing, like he didn't understand what the fuck just happened, and there was nothing he was able to do. Besides that, though, was like any if you because obviously people
So
players don't really see Blackwings that much in tournaments. Were there any other funny story that you can tell which you had like a matchup? Because for example, me, I had one dude who started to cheat on me, and then when I went first game 3, he actually wanted to call the judge for giving me a warning for wasting too much time, right? And I told him like, bro, you know what? I'll give you for myself extra 10 minutes. You can continue 10 more minutes. Let me just finish off my board. I don't want to play around, like, I don't want to waste time or anything. Like, I'll give you for myself 10 more minutes. Let's see if you can break my board. Like, that's what I told him because he was so pissed losing against Blackwings. And I literally told him, like, bro, you know what? Here, I'm done. The time ran out, but it's cool. If you can break my board, I'll give you that win. And it was in a YCS tournament, bro. I said in a YCS tournament, I said if you can break my board right now, I'll give you the win. And he went
it,
crying away.
it's actually funny because I did have a player tell me he was like, "Bro, your combo's taking so long to get off. This is taking so long." And I was like, "Well, it's only taking long because you keep stopping to ask what my cards do or reading my cards. So obviously,
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
I got to either explain what they do or you got to sit here and read my card. And
Yeah.
obviously, I don't know if you have a hand trap or not. So I'm gonna be like, is the effect good? And then you got to
Exactly.
make sure you're declaring the proper chain link. Chain link 1
Yep.
target this. Chain link 2 do
Yep.
this." and then you got to wait for a response. Like, you don't want to just keep comboing, and then your opponent's like, "Oh, judge, like he's cheating or whatever."
Yeah.
So, you're not slow playing. You're just making sure like everything's within
Yeah.
the proper chain links, and you're calling everything. But I guess the thing I will say is like my side deck was like almost perfect. Like, I don't even know what I would change about it. Like, I would consider taking out Nib, but even Nib, like a lot of people aren't respecting Nib. They're just gonna keep special summon it,
Yeah.
and in game three situation, I used Nib. I think I didn't see Nib at all that time, but there was like a couple other times, like playtesting and stuff, like where you go into when you go into time, like they have cards that can burn you, but they have to synchro summon or like they have to special summon to get it out. If you have Nib, they're not getting there.
Yeah. True. Yeah, last question about the shifter. Like, how well did you play with shifter? Like, was it really helpful for you? Would you side it out or whatever? Like,
Um, so this was my deciding factor. So at first I was main decking shifter. I was main decking shifter all the way until the night before the tournament.
mhm,
And then I told myself, I said, you know what? We we can play around shifter, yes. We can make certain boards, but we can't make no full combo full combo Yuga board with shifter going first.
yeah,
We can only make like a full armor master. Maybe we can make like a Crusadia Abramax and have like a assault mode dragon. Like, we can have a couple things on field, but it's like, why would I limit myself going first if I can just make full combo and then side it? Like, I get why people main deck it, because like in case you lose the dice roll, you have that extra protection. But I built my deck to completely play against almost any deck. Like,
gotcha.
yeah, so that's why I was like, I have, five Bystials, I have a searchable Kaiju, and I have three Dark Ruler no more. So I'm like, if I can't break your board with that, then you just got it. Then we're just
Facts.
gonna go to game two.
Facts. I don't know what else to add to that. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. I would say, like, real quick, like,
Yeah,
again, like, so for me specifically, like, I do side a lot of cards in, like, in order to win a lot of games. Like, I'll
you have
heavily
to.
side. And so 42, honestly, too, it also helps me add a couple extra cards in for the side. And just specifically, I'll go over like some of the stuff, like if you're confused on what you want, like what you should side out. I'll go over a couple things on what you should probably side out if you're playing Blackwings. Me personally, people tell me not to side this card out, but in game three, I'll always keep it in. But if I'm going into game two and I know you're going to go first, sometimes I will side out the Called by the Grave, because I can't use it going first. Like, if you're going first and you're setting up, like, I can't use it. So I'll side out the one of Called by the Grave,
Yeah,
just so I can like have another card in there. Obviously you're going to side out the Phantom Knights rank up magic launch. You're going to side out the Raiders wing. A couple other cards I decide to side out. Very risky, but it pays off a lot. I normally will side out my Vata to one. I will side out my Steam, and it just helps me put in like extra cards. So like, I can put in like three Nib, I can put in three Spooky Dogwood, I can put in three Evenly Match, I can put in three Shifter. You can also side out like one of the Feather Whirlwinds. You can side out one of the Shamals. The cards I always keep at three. I always keep Samoon at three. I always keep Suttery at three. If I'm playing against like a Flunderies player, I'll side out the Bystials.
yes, for sure. You
I'll keep a couple Bystials in, actually, because
can still go pistol, Shamal, Flower Master.
yeah, I was about to say you can use a small world, and then if they chain their Bystial, if you have a Bystial in hand, you can chain your Bystial on top of their Bystial. So
Yep.
like, I won't side them all out, but I will side like two or three of them out,
Yeah,
just so I can side in a couple extra cards. So
that's true.
um, that's like some of the stuff I would consider siding out. Always, always, always remember this: if you decide to main deck
Dark.
Dark Ruler no more, side it out going game three always. Like, I always side that card out going game three, because if
No
you
damage
activate it,
is no win.
yeah, if you go, yeah, no damage equals no win. If you're close into time, yeah, you can break their board, but you're
Yeah,
not gonna be able to do no damage. So it's like, that was pointless. So like, I always side out the Dark Ruler, and then like the three Pot of Prosperities honestly help you get to your side deck.
yeah,
So like, you can Pot of Prosperity for six. You can grab Evenly Match, like Evenly Match plus Lightning Storm. Like, they're not getting over that. Like, you activate Lightning Storm, they're gonna
go.
use their negate on it. Then you activate your Evenly Match or something, and then they
Yep,
gotta banish everything. So
yep,
it's like, it's just so good. So
yeah.
That's
Beautiful,
all I got for y'all.
beautiful. All right, then I would say let's wrap it up. First of all, thank you for being here. Thank you for showing us your deck. Really appreciate it. And I mean, we've been talking before you even attended the tournament, so we're close friends. I would not like friends. Yeah, from
Yeah, for sure, man.
Blackwing brothers.
We definitely got to get them out here to do an event in the
Yeah,
U.S., bro. And if they
so
got a 3v3 for best believe me and Connect teaming up in the 3v3, and I'm gonna definitely tell y'all
let's
how it
go.
went.
Let's go.
And
Yeah, we
and
gotta do
me,
that.
me and yeah, me and him gonna be able to vibe off each other for sure.
Let's
And
go.
yeah, I definitely appreciate you just bouncing your ideas and theories and stuff off, and just allowing me to bounce the same. Obviously, Blackwings are constantly changing, just depending on whatever the
Yeah,
format is. Sometimes you might have Super Poly in there, sometimes you might have Silver Wind in there. It
yeah,
just really depends on like what's dominating the meta, and like this deck is so flexible with
yeah.
that. So
Exactly. Exactly.
I definitely appreciate you just giving me the time of day to just showcase my skills and stuff. Like I said, I've been playing this deck, guys, for over 10 years. If you guys check out my YouTube, I don't post, so you don't have to like watch me or subscribe. But if you check out my YouTube, you'll see old videos for me talking
Yeah,
about like when
it's
I
in
was
the
at
description.
regionals. And yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, bro, I've been playing this deck for
Yeah,
that
OG
long. Like,
Blackwing player for sure. For sure.
yeah, so they call like again, I got the nickname the Blackwing guy, so that's what they call me at my regionals. So
All right, I'll definitely link it in the description below. So yeah. All right. I mean, that's it. If you want to say anything else, any shoutouts, whatever, then go
Uh, I,
for
ju-
it.
I just I just want to shout out not only my boy Connect for just bouncing out theories and stuff. I just want to shout out my boy Chung. That's my play test partner. Me and him actually got a 3v3 tournament coming up. Like I said, he got top eights at Nats
Nice, nice,
this
nice.
this year. Yep. So he's my
Beautiful.
play test partner, and he's always helping me. He doesn't play Black Wings, but he actually understands how the deck works since I done played against him so many
Yeah,
times. Like he actually helps me like bounce things off my like different ideas and stuff too. So I just want to give him a quick shout out.
beautiful. All right. All right. I mean, I don't know how to wrap this up, but let's just. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
You can wrap it up. All.
Thank,
You got the ending. All right. All right.
yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Take
Yes.
care.
Yes. Bye bye. Just.